On today's episode of All Roads Lead To with Al and Jayné, we talk about some of the people who've made an impact in our lives who we lost in 2020.
Our focus is on those in media and in the arts.
So please stay tuned for All Roads Lead To with Al and Jayné.
Hi, I'm Avery, the executive producer for All Roads Lead To Media. And I'm here to let you know you can listen to All Roads Lead To wherever you listen to podcasts, whether that be YouTube, Spotify, or even TuneIn Radio. You can also listen to All Roads Lead To on Amazon Music by saying, Alexa, play All Roads Lead To podcast.
This is All Roads Lead To with Al and Jayné.
The place where we share and talk about the people, places, and passions
that have impacted us on the road of life. Hi, I'm Al.
Hi, I'm Jayné.
And welcome to another episode of All Roads Lead To with Al and Jayné. And today we are continuing our conversations as we're looking back at the year 2020. What a year it has been.
What a year. What a year. I was thinking in terms of our conversation, we talked about at the beginning of the year, just the unreal and I think just seemingly so shocking, events, particularly surrounding the passing of Kobe Bryant and, the families and, the other individuals who were on the helicopter and his daughter, Gianna. Another just shocking passing that was just so seemingly untimely was that of Chadwick Boseman. I felt paralyzed when I heard that news. And so many things flooded my mind. I felt like we were just getting the beginning of his repertoire. You just feel like he was going to be one of those actors that, your children's children would know in a sense. And so that was just so, it really rocked me. Yeah. And we have a friend, your high school classmate, who I really felt like just reading her piece gave me some center around it. Because it just really, I just felt very just pulled to so many emotional directions. And I thought her piece is called Endgame, which I thought was so brilliantly titled. Our friend Jennifer Fordham will put in the show notes, her blog, which is amazing. And she does such a great job, I think, of capturing just the importance of living with impact and intention. Yes. And one of the things that she said is that, he really taught us in life how to live so that when you're passing, you leave a legacy.
Absolutely. And what a legacy this man left in just such a limited time. I believe I read another tribute by President Leslie Pollard of Oakwood University said that Chadwick Boseman lived a brief but brilliant life.
Yes. And I think that's the thing, because I think part of what Jennifer's piece was intimating is that we often think we have time. Yeah. And so you think you're at certain seasons in your life where you can live for yourself, or, your focus may not be
it's all about me.
Right. Yeah. And so I think one of the things, and we've unfortunately, even personally, lost folks who were our age recently. Right. And it's just been so gutting, to see children left and just so much light that they gave that's not here anymore. But I think the beauty of it is that I've seen and witnessed, I think, from those who we've known personally and even from Chadwick's from afar, is that he was very intentional. We don't know at what point or what stage, in essence, it seems that he was really intentional even before he, was aware of what was happening. And there's so many points, I think, to be made. First of how private he was with it and how he must have had loyal people with him, right?
That's what I was going to say. Yeah. I mean, you want I guess I'm calling it a Chadwick crew around you. Everybody wants those kind of people who are going to be loyal to the point where they're going to keep your stuff as your stuff.
That's right.
No leaks.
None.
No, have you heard or this or that? Nothing. Mm-hmm. I mean, his crew.
Yes.
I mean, whoever they are. And we still don't, in essence, know who they are or the people who really, really knew.
Right.
But whoever they were, that's a lesson that I've learned from that. You want to have a Chadwick crew.
Right. That they won't be bought. They can't, there's nothing that will entice them to compromise your confidence and your trust and faith in them. I think that's one thing. The other thing I was really thinking about is even from his early days when, I think his story is just so amazing of, not really seeking the arts. And they said he was, really a basketball star, and how when he went to Howard, kind of became really more immersed in the arts. And just that story of Felicia Rashad and the mothering and the nurture, I think, really of his gift and seeing something in him. I think that was just the beauty of it, is that just having people who I think even that's a testament to how she's using her, her light and her legacy to really, gift students and to help to bring in another generation of artists and give students opportunities. But to see something in him at that stage, and then to encourage it, and then at one point when he had opportunity to study in England, she was able to tap into her network. And it's that awesome story of how Denzel is one of the silent donors in essence of his study in England. And so there's so much to his story, and so much that I think we can relate to, just humble beginnings and, just, kind of on, just really following a dream. And that just is inspiring to me, because I think all along he was very present with the gift that he had, and also a gift that he could give. But then he was very intentional, even in the early days that he was on a soap opera and felt that he was being, stereotyped, and really just seemed early on to be very intentional about sending a message of strong Black imaging.
Oh, wow.
And I just so appreciate that, because I know our children, from 42, to the Marshall movie, so much of history through his eyes, I think, is so much more present and real, and gives them opportunity for valuing, those who are charting the course for them.
Yes, I was going to say, in line with just what you said, look at the characters that he chose to play.
Yes.
And all the characters that he chose to play were not these people who have these storybook happily ever after, whose life arc is just constantly on the up and up. He chose to play people whose characters had color to them. I think about him playing James Brown in Get On Up.
Yes,
man, he played James Brown.
My. And he was,
I mean, and he really translated everything about James Brown in that story. Thurgood Marshall in Marshall, 42 with Jackie Robinson. And I mean, come on, Wakanda Forever.
Oh my. I mean, that's transcendent, right?
Transcended. I mean,
Black superhero. I mean, Marvel. Oh.
And again, thinking about legacy, I want to go back really to something that you just said that really sparked something with me. Jayné and we've become more aware of the need of really surrounding yourself with people who support you all throughout our lives and during our time of marriage and work. That's just critical and important. And one of the things I learned and I took from Chadwick Boseman's life is that having people who believe in you will be almost like a net of support around you. Because just like you're talking about with that story of Felicia Rashad, she saw something in him and believed in him. And you need people who believe in you, who will not let you fail and who will not let you miss out on opportunities that could be life changers, that could be game changers, or just who believe in you, period, not knowing what the future will bring, not looking for a return on their investment or on something that they do for you. We all need people like that. And his life seemed to garner that in terms of loyalty, in terms of people who would invest in him. And look at what just one person's influence did for the next and for the next and for the next. It just follows on and on. But again, do yourself the biggest favor that you can probably do today and read the piece Endgame by Jennifer Gill Fordham. It is really a game changer.
It is.
And she did a phenomenal job with that.
Absolutely. And so I one of the inspirations really from that piece for me and has been to really just to sit with some of those who we've lost in 2020. There have been such towering figures in so many ways, and to really give acknowledgement to it. And I think that's what we really hope to do with this, is just to acknowledge, but also to see that their legacies endure, and to know that they have really seeded us with an enduring legacy. And so to be able to pass that on, to learn more about their contributions, to share their influence, and then to acknowledge how they've influenced us over time in different ways. Many of the memories and opportunities and experiences I have been colored by so many of the people who we've lost this year, personally and definitely, in the public light.
Yes. And you think about a person like Bill Withers.
Yes.
Who passed away this year. Bill Withers was just, I think of him as a soul folk singer almost. And we saw a documentary that kind of chronicled his break into the music business. Yes. The Black Godfather, talking about the story of Clarence Avant, but it kind of opened up with Bill Withers talking about how he first met Clarence Avant. But I mean, his life story really is one of those things that you couldn't have predicted. And as we say so many times, you can't make this stuff up.
No. I mean, you think about him, he's a soundtrack to so much of Lean On Me. Ain't No Sunshine When She's Gone. And just the depth of lyrics. I think that's something that even I remember, when my mother would listen to music that I was listening to, she didn't feel like it had the depth. It didn't have that, it didn't resonate. And so now I listen to music our children listen to, and I really feel like, wait a minute, it doesn't have that essence. But there was something about the way he communicated through lyrics, and then the way he sang, that it just was. It was literally soul stirring, and it's amazing. We got an opportunity to read an amazing article about him that really just looks at just the real everyday man that he was, and how he really, again, those West Virginia roots, went into the military not soon after it had been desegregated.
Go Navy.
It was a Navy man. Eventually went to California through the Navy, learned I think aircraft mechanics, and was working, honest work. And first, I think one of the first opportunities that he got to see of what entertainment can do for a person is the amount of money that Lou Rawls, I think, is making. He was supposed to come and sing. And he saw, overheard, one of the owners saying, he's making like $2,000. He's like, I was making $3 I think a day or something, or an hour, probably an hour.
Probably an hour.
Not so far back. And about an hour, but you're realizing whoa, just for this one gig, he's gonna make $2,000. So it kind of opened his eyes to this music thing has something, but he was never about money. I think, he could see that there was, that you could work smarter in a sense, through music in a sense, but he was his own man. We read that he never really had a manager. The amazing thing that I thought was so amazing. And so from that, it says soon thereafter, he started to say, hey, I'm going to dig into, because obviously he had a love or some interest in music that was kind of, stirring in him. He put some money aside and, bought a guitar and started to really kind of hone the craft and started writing. And it was he shopped a demo and saved money to shop a demo around. And then I think it's the Avant Sussex Records that picked up his first, his first demo, and he saw the brilliance in him. Again, like you're saying, someone who takes a chance on you, sight unseen, and took that chance on him, and it's kind of like the rest is history. In that, he just took off. But his first album cover, he took, I think it's like in the middle of a work day. You could still see his lunch pail in that first album cover, but that he was his own man. And we looked at the fact that he was making on each of his on each of his sales, he was required to make, I believe, was it $1 or? Well, he gets half. He gets half because he owns the royalties. He did not give any of his music rights away.
And one of the things that was, you had to, in order for Lean On Me to be on a movie, to be on a commercial, to be on anything, you had to get permission, not from his agent, not from his company, not from his people. You had to go directly to him.
Right. Which I just thought...
Which is, in the words of our friend Gary Graham, a boss move. That is such a boss move, to not give up your rights and not cede anything away and not say, oh, well, I'll let somebody else take care of it. No. Bill Withers was the one who was in control of his career,
Yes.
which really ended up being in control of his cash.
That's it. And I think also the influence, where would his songs be played? They were saying that if there was a movie about, if it was violent or something that wasn't really in line with their values or with the song, they wouldn't allow it to, they wouldn't give permission for it to be played in that, you know, in that piece or in that venue. And so I think that says a lot about also having, you know, some people said it was, you know, it was limiting, but he felt empowered by it because he said he was his own man. And I think the other beautiful thing about it is that, you know, he lived in a home that he bought in 1998, and he lived, you know, the way on his own terms, it seems. And it just seems like a lot of ways that was out of the public eye. He was private, but they said his adult children lived close by. It just really seemed like a beautiful way of understanding that music was a vehicle to making a living, but it didn't rob him of himself or the life that he had created before.
And one of the most enduring things about Bill Withers' legacy is when you talk about Lean on Me, it's like the easiest song to play on the piano. I mean, all you do is get those three notes and you go up and down, da, 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 da. I mean, you can do it. Anybody can. So remembering Bill Withers as well. There are other musicians that we've lost in the year 2020. I think of none other than Bishop Rance Allen. Just a major influence on the gospel music scene and on the, I guess, the whole late 1960s, early 1970s music scene. I first came to know Rance Allen, which I still think is the best song that he ever did, at this concert in 1972 called Watt Stax. Stax Records in Memphis had a major concert with all of their artists at the LA Coliseum. Jesse Jackson was the host. Isaac Hayes was one of the headliners, and Rance Allen and his brothers were the Rance Allen Group. And they came out there and sang this song called Lying to the Truth.
All right.
I mean, you can look it up on YouTube right now. Rance Allen is there playing the guitar, singing, harmonizing, doing the lead, then going to the background. It is one of the most amazing things you will ever want to hear. And he was a major influence on people who came up and ended up being transcendent as well in the gospel music industry. From that southwest or southeast Michigan area in Detroit, Toledo, the Winans, Commission was majorly influenced. I remember when Commission first came out, my dad said, "Oh man, you know, we've heard this before. You ever heard of the Rance Allen Group?" And that's kind of was my introduction to Rance Allen. So Rance Allen was a bishop in the Church of God in Christ. And so we remember him as well. Speaking well of those who had influence in the church and outside of the church, Richard Penniman.
Little Richard.
Known as Little Richard. Passed away this year. Trailblazer came from, I mean, the most humble of humble beginnings in Georgia, and literally rose to superstardom.
Absolutely. And
was responsible for literally creating the genre of rock and roll. My little individual personal connection to Little Richard is this: not only he went to Oakwood, you and I went to Oakwood, but I had to have been about six, maybe 7 years old. And I remember my dad saying, "Hey, come on and go with me. Where are we going? We're going to First Seventh-day Adventist Church in Washington, D.C. And he said, a man by the name of Little Richard is preaching that night. That night. And so we know, hey, Little Richard's life, he went from doing music, came back to doing evangelism, went back to doing music. But everybody who actually knew him say he never really ever lost his heart for really helping people. And being just a light. And tribute to Pastor Joseph McCoy, who gave the eulogy for Little Richard at the graveside service. And the title of it was Let Your Little Light Shine. And just talked about how Richard Penniman throughout his life really did let his light shine.
And I you know, those early... I think those early roots in gospel and church influenced him, I think kept drawing him back all throughout. But it's amazing what the gifting that he had, how it influenced so many in all across, music. And so you see so many rock stars and so many individuals really attributing him and crediting him, with opening up and being like really the shoulders that they were standing on. And so I think that was really beautiful to see. And so many people, I think, came out to acknowledge that because he really was defying so much in exploring his music, I think, passions in a sense, and I think often we were boxing people in at a certain time. And he really, I think, you didn't see as many people exploring rock in that realm and that the mix of soul and gospel, those influences in rock, we didn't see it as much. And he really opened the doors for a lot of that. And I think kind of this fusion in a sense of where we see, influences coming across different genres. And I think he, really did that. But I think, like you're saying, ultimately it's what you're doing for people that lasts and I think really enriches and it extends your legacy.
Absolutely.
And so, we definitely see that there. We've had so much to share about the impact of media figures and artists who've passed in 2020. And so I'm hoping that we can continue this conversation to the next episode.
So let's do that. Let's continue our conversation, as we're going to talk about in our next episode, Jayné Dubois, Alex Trebek, and so many others. Maybe even give a little nod to James Lipton as well.
Absolutely. So we hope you will join us for our next episode as we discuss the enduring legacies of media figures and artists who have passed in 2020 and have impacted our lives.
All right. Please join us.
We are so glad to share our podcast with you. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and on social media.
So please listen, share, and tell a friend about All Roads Lead To with Al and Jayné, the place where we talk about the people, the places, and the passions that have impacted us along the road of life.